I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
In Poland, dzień dobry. In France, bonjour. In Spain, hola. In Italy, ciao. In Egypt, ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, akwaba. In Nigeria, leo. South Africa, sawubona. In Senegal, nangadet. In Kenya, jambo. In Israel, shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
And Grand Rising. Thank you all for joining us on this frigid Thursday morning on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We're going to take a quick break and be right back and talk to you as we prepare to shop with Zoe. Today, we're going to go across the world and talk about traveling to China to do business. We'll be right back, so stay with us.
Hi, I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, We're also three sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all: race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Three Black Moms.
And we are back. You're listening to and watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and let us benefits of
Hi, this is John Alexander.
And I'm Naima Latif. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world.
Big difference.
Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/The Media Connection TV.
YouTube it. We'll see you soon.
based upon the fact network. And this is important not just for business, but for social reasons. Things that we often expound upon and
Air Radio Network. Please state your name and you will be entered into our studio. Please keep your phone on mute until you are ready to speak.
And this is Naima.
Please announce yourself.
Naima. And of course, if you are one of those who have been a part of any type of global family, you know that a lot of our fear has to do with not knowing the language of the people. And so this is why we give you a chance to hear some of the languages in the beginning of the show. We're going to take another quick break and come right back as we bring in our Monday morning mindfulness host, Zelda, to help us talk about that global perspective. And then later on, we're going to talk to our third Saturday host and hear from Deborah as she talks with Zoe about traveling internationally for business. We'll be right back, so stay with us.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection. somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
And if you are watching us on Facebook or YouTube, then you are seeing us prepare to travel. And this is travel that is preparing us to go to the upcoming Democratic convention, in which a lot of people will be traveling and will be coming to this international city of Chicago in preparation for the kinds of work that they'll be doing. And if you are in and around that Chicagoland area, then you're going to see a lot of people coming to Chicago. And of course, this being an international city, you're going to experience a lot of the interaction of people from other cities who understand how important it is to know where you're going when you get someplace. And that's one of the things we'll be talking about today. Because when you travel abroad for business and you are able to meet people from different locations, you're able to experience the culture, and you're able to understand more about the history of the place. This makes it easier for you to make friends. Doing business internationally has a lot to do with knowing how to make friends. And if you're able to make friends, then you get people to trust you. And this is what it's all about. So we want to talk about that process. And we want to talk about how you can understand making friends when you're in a foreign country and you may not speak the language. So when it comes to business, really, you need to not be afraid to learn some basic things like numbers. Because sometimes in the negotiating process, you want to understand how to at least talk dollars or whatever their currency is. We have so much hesitancy to learn new things out of fear. And so today we want to talk about that and prepare you for the thought of going beyond your comfort zone. People are buying and selling all over the world. And if you are wanting to be a part of global commerce, you have to get over your fear. You have to get over small thinking. We can't be upset when people come from abroad and set up shop and do well because they're willing to go beyond their own language and culture to exchange goods for money. We have to be able to do the same. And sometimes it's a matter of getting over the fear of traveling. And if you are one of those who are hesitant to go abroad because of fear of what you've heard of other countries, you really need to talk to some people who have traveled to get over that fear. And if you're afraid, if you're already afraid and you're already believing that people who are different than you are going to hurt you, then it makes it difficult for you to get over that hurdle that would take you from being perhaps a local merchant to a global business person. And if you are able to if you are able to get over that fear of believing that other people aren't going to be kind to you because of things that you see in the news, then you're going to always be small. And this is what we want people to get over. And so we're going to talk about that today, because in order for us to move beyond the smallness of our thinking and the resentment of immigrants who come and open shop and do well in neighborhoods that they don't live in, we have to be willing to do the same. Our Tuesday host, Zoe, has told us that there is, in fact, a Africa town in China, just like there's a Chinatown here in America, right here in Chicago, and probably in other cities, because people do go and set up shop and do business when they go abroad, and they don't have any fear of that. So if we want to be a part of the global economy, we have to get over our fear. And I do believe we've got our Monday morning mindfulness hosts on the line with us. Zelda, are you there? All right, well, she'll be joining us shortly. And if you are someone who is considering doing business with people in other countries because their products and services are being used and being bought and sold, and you want to be the buyer and the seller that makes money, then you have to get over the fear of getting to know other people who live in other places. And if you're watching us, just give us a shout out, let us know that you're hearing and seeing us clearly. If our image goes out, we certainly do want you to let us know. But we call this the Female Solution Global Radio TV show for a reason. And you've seen that we've had many guests from other countries, and we have traveled to other countries and actually conducted the show from South Korea, from Japan, from London. We have been global. And today on Shop with Zoe, we prepare you to think in terms of the ways that you can benefit from your travel, even when it's a vacation. Because if you're buying and selling for the purpose of reselling items, it becomes a business trip. And everything that you do on that trip is a tax write-off. And so you want to organize your business so that you benefit from being in business. You benefit from traveling. You benefit from buying things at a discount rate and going back home and selling it at a higher rate and getting a profit. There are people who do this all the time when they travel, and all of their travel is tax deductible. So if you could travel to China and experience authentic Chinese food, Chinese dance and music and museums, and you could enjoy friends and visit some of the wonderful hotels and even some of the local places, and have it all be a tax deductible expense because you're buying some items that you intend to sell when you return to the States, would it be worth knowing about this? Wouldn't it be worth wouldn't it be worth doing some things that make sense, such as learning something about how to book a flight, when to get the best deals, what are the better airlines when it comes to international travel? That's critical, because your flying experience could be a wonderful experience or a nightmare, just based on what you are choosing to do when it comes to making that flight plan. So one of the things that we realize is that if you are a person who has a fear of people who are different, people who look different, people who speak another language, people who practice a different religion, if you've got prejudice, you're going to limit yourself. You're going to limit yourself from making money. Because if you notice, people who come to America and do business, they don't care what you look like. They don't care what language you speak. They speak enough English to tell you how much to pay for what they're selling you. They don't care what your religion is. They don't care how you wear your hair or what kind of clothes you wear. They just want to get paid, and they know you have money and you want what they're selling, and they sell it to you. So how long are we going to be upset at people because they have refused to allow prejudice to keep them from doing business? We need to do the same. So today on Shop with Zoe, we're going to talk about the process of traveling to China. Whatever fears you may have. Now, of course, I do have a China story that I'll tell you. I think I've told you before. But I've been to China. Beautiful place. And the people were very kind. They were very friendly. So if we're, again, worried about someone else who may have told us that people over there are prejudiced, they won't like you, we need to throw that out of our minds. Because that is not reality. People are very friendly, very hospitable to strangers, and they'll willingly help you. We're so used to being treated badly where we live that we think everybody does that. And we need to get over that paranoia and get out of the United States. So and if we can talk to people from America who've been to China or any other Asian country or even an African country or a European country, they can tell you that your perspective changes. So today we want to get over the fear of traveling someplace. Because if you want to really participate in the global economy that is the way people who are serious business people are making money, you have got to be willing to travel. And you've got to be willing to go someplace that you've never gone before. Was that Star Trek? To go where no one has gone before? Well, people have gone to China. Yes, they have. And they have learned a few words of Chinese, maybe even become very fluent in Chinese. And they have learned how to buy and sell. And I do believe our Monday morning mindfulness host, Zelda Speaks, is on the line with us.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, yes. Well, this is challenging today in this frigid weather as we prepare to take this trip downtown. But I'm glad that we're going to have this conversation. And we've got some viewers. Now, just in case, we are physically disconnected visually. If you're able to pull up your StreamYard when Zoe comes, I can always make sure she's on screen, even if I'm not. And even if you're not, and of course, Deborah's going to be on at 8. So I'll arrange it so that both of them are on screen as we have this conversation on Shop with Zoe, and we talk about travel to China for business deals. So one of the things that we've been talking to our listening and viewing audience about is the fact that many people don't travel out of fear. And we've got people, we've got Koreans, we've got Chinese, we've got Malaysians, we've got all kinds of people coming to the United States, setting up shop, doing business, and not being fearful to buy and sell and take our money. And rather than us being resentful and angry, we need to do what they're doing, because as Zoe has told us, in China, there's Africa Town, where there's, I think, Ghanaian people have set up a marketplace just like our Chinatown here.
Yeah.
And because when you go abroad, you want to interact so that you can make money and do business, this is what we need to be able to do, which means getting over our fears. You can be a little local merchant, setting up shop at the various events. You know, you can be your little vendor, and you can keep doing that for the next 10, 20 years, and you can do that and make your few little dollars and scuffle and scuffle and scuffle. Or you can become an international business person. You can travel and have all of your travel be tax deductible. You can get a more variety of items to sell. You can be that person who is able to eventually open up some retail stores if you like, or sell online and make a killing. But you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get past your fear of the world. Don't get mad because other people are coming here and making money. Don't get mad at migrants because you say, well, they're going to take our jobs. Don't get mad. If people come bringing skills and want to get paid, don't get mad because they're not afraid to travel. We have to get over our fear. And one of the things we fear is that people are going to treat us badly because we think everybody in the world is prejudiced and racist and mean and cruel. That's not the reality. That's our fear. Once you leave here, you discover that that is not reality. But you can't grow as a business person until you're ready to let that fear go. I've been to China. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's clean. People were very friendly, very helpful. No one treated me badly because of my dark skin and I'm tall and, got whatever, woolly hair, whatever you want to call it. Nobody treated me badly at all. I had no instances, not one instance where I perceived racism. I've been to Japan. We did a show in Japan, and it was a great show at a man's art gallery. And we did a show there, but this is before we were doing visual shows, so it's all it's in the Blog Talk archives. But we were there at his shop at 9 o'clock at night, which was 7 o'clock in the morning here in Chicago, and we did a wonderful interview. And it was a great time. We've done shows in London, and it was a wonderful opportunity. We've done shows in South Korea. We've traveled. We've been to these places. We call this the Female Solution Global Radio TV show because we have gone out of America into the world and discovered that the world is our friend. And we need to know our neighbors. We need to know our global family because that's how you get to do business. That's how you find out what other people are offering that could benefit the people where you live. And you become that person who's willing to shop and buy things wholesale so you can come back home and sell it retail and make a profit. That's all business is. And because it can be done online, buying and selling, we need to get over our fear. So we're going to take a quick break and come back. And great. And we're going to bring up Deborah right after this quick break. So we want you all to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We're going to bring up our dear sisters. And so we'll be right back. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Naima.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideologies, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark.
Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456.
I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Beata.
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Are you stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions available, don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, type 2 diabetes,
Good morning. Good morning.
or just make extra money.
Yes.
Finally finished my tour.
Go to
Every day I take my son to school.
312-409.
Well, that part of my job is going to expire soon. I'm doing a countdown. In June, he will be graduating from high school. I'll be out of my job.
Oh, that is great.
Yeah, well, bittersweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
well, we have Deborah with us today, and we've been talking this morning about getting over the fear of traveling to China so we can benefit from being business people. And so let's bring her on stage and
I'm here.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes, yes,
It's
thank
good to
you.
be here.
Yeah, we should do
It's
more.
good.
I love we can be on the same stage.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
awesome. I know you do traveling, and I have this idea. I think I talked to Naima and Zelda before. Doing business travel to China.
I have not.
Okay.
I do not have what we call vendors because we want to usually work with someone who is really familiar with the new laws, the changes, because changes go on all the time. The right connections, the right transportation, the right housing, and the right connections. So you have to have a good vendor unless you've been there before and you're familiar and you got connections. But that's where you start. That's one of the places you start. There's so many places to start when you're planning. You know how you plan. You want to make sure that you have the right ingredients here and the right ingredients there, and so you got the flour. You know you need the flour, but which brand, what style? So you have to plan. It's all part of the planning process to make anything a success. I mean, even coming here today, there was a plan, that you had to put together and a method that you worked with. So make a plan, make connections. Now, Naima was talking about being a friend or being friendly to folks and not having fears. And that could go across the board with anything. You have to be friendly. And some people say, oh, this is business. You don't have to be a friend. Yes, you have to have some type of connection beyond the straightforward business. And in order to be an effective, good business person, you have to be open, and especially when you're going into business in a different area, a culture, language, monetary. You have to be open to be a friend to a lot of different levels, and you have to know how to get past your fear. That's something else that she talked about. Friend and fear. And we know we all have fear to a certain degree. We basically have fear of the unknown. If it's something that we don't know, it's like you're walking on a ledge or walking on a straight path. We don't know which side, so we're fearful of not going over the edge. But when we're in business, we have to learn about different aspects of how to do business. And getting over your fear is just another class that you have to take on.
Yeah, I it's so true. I think about 30 years ago, I have been living in this country for 30 years. And 30 years ago, I had the fear to come to United States. Even though my boyfriend at the time was American. He went to China and spent, we met in college. And after I graduated, he went back to China again to spend 2 years with me in Beijing for 2 years. And then when he had to leave, start his medical school in America, and I applied to come to the United States for graduate school. But deep down, I have fear to come to the United States. And so to the point, even though, I think at that time we might have a plan to get married, but I had the fear to come to the United States. So when I was offered a dream job, which I would make 20 times of average people as a 24 4-year-old. At that time, the security in China outweighed my love for him and my curiosity for America. So I walk away from that relationship.
Oh.
I deep down in myself, it was a fear to come. But in the end, God has a new plan. He has totally different plan that I have to come to the United States. I have no choice. I was literally forced to come.
Yeah, that's what happens. You know, we think we know which direction to go, and it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to. We think it should happen, and it's all because it wasn't supposed to happen. There was better, bigger and better things, and we should not beat ourselves up because we didn't make a decision to do something that we look back and say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, you didn't, so don't waste any time on thinking about what you shoulda, coulda, woulda, and you live for now, and you focus on now, and you have to find comfort and solace in those decisions. That was a decision that you made. You weren't ready, and it wasn't meant at that time.
Yeah, I think now I'm done with raising a child, and I'm starting a new chapter in my life. And this time in my life, I can go anywhere without fear. Especially, I like to travel alone. I was just in Turkey during Thanksgiving. And the people was like, "You're going there alone?" I said, "Yeah, I go there alone." And I think, and then actually, I love travel alone.
Okay.
Before I came to the United States, I traveled alone in China. But one time I was also forced to travel alone to Guatemala in 1995. I was travel with a friend, and then in the middle of the trip, we went to see the Mayan ruins. So I was in Mexico, and our plan was going to Guatemala together, but he has to go back to work, and I have to continue my trip in Guatemala by myself. And it was 95. In 1995, it was not very safe in Guatemala. There was the guard
there was
with
a lot
machine
going on
gun in like a little sandwich shop. And I didn't speak Spanish at that time at all, but I survived. So after that, I feel comfortable travel by myself.
Yeah, you got over that fear.
Yes. So last Thanksgiving I was in Turkey. But I think now we are talking about, I don't do travel just for pleasure anymore. I always mix my travel with business.
It's a purpose.
With
you
the
have
purpose.
A purpose.
Yeah,
yes.
It's not just sightseeing, but you also try to see the opportunities. So when I was in Turkey, I explored the market, and then actually Turkey is amazingly, it's also a good destination to seek business opportunities. Turkey has the oldest bazaar, the market. So that a lot of people went to Turkey to trade. I saw people from India. They all have a little section of a front inside of the bazaar. But yeah, now we are talking about China, going to China as a business destination. China was closed for 3 years for the COVID, and they were just open up. Now they actually give a lot of kind of a special arrangements to facilitate travel to China. And China is the factory of the world. Part of the globalization from the United States and Europe is the goal was maximize the profits for the corporation at the expense of the workers. Try to reduce the labor cost to zero. How to reduce the labor cost to zero? in
Yeah,
America and
get a
Europe.
machine.
Not just machine. Before they had machine, they outsourced. They relocate the factory base to Asia. First from Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, and then later when the labor costs over those four or five regions increase, they relocate to China. And just the size of China, the labor size of China is so huge, you don't need anybody else anymore. So all the factories will relocate to China. So China become the factory of the world. They manufacture on behalf of America and Europe, and in cooperation. And then some of the goods are re-imported back to the United States, to Europe, and some stay in China, and some just export to the rest of the world on behalf of the American corporations and European corporations. So, but in the process, because China, historically has a very strong industrial base, so China was able to catch up with the technology, and right now, they actually don't need American or Europeans. They can manufacture things on their own and better quality, cheaper price. And then the Europe, especially America, lost the manufacturer base once for all. It's very hard to repatriate the factory back. But the good thing is, because the advance of technology in China, they can produce better quality products at the fraction of what at the cost that is possible in America. So, and then there's the opportunity, just thinking almost 95% of product used in America actually are made in China.
Oh yes.
And then you go through so many distribution channels that the cost will add up, double, increase, double fold, or triple or quadruple. So given all the inflation right now, how we actually can cut cost is to buy the products at the base price without the distribution cost. We want to be our own distributor.
Right.
And so, one way is for us to be our own distributor is go to the source. And in China, you think China is very huge, right? You think, where I'm going to look for the manufacturer. But in China, there's actually two ways to look for the manufacturers. There's two trade shows, one in the spring, one in the fall. Spring, I think is like March or April. And then the fall is around October. In the city, only maybe an hour train, half an hour or an hour train ride from Hong Kong, called Canton.
It's called, can you say
Canton,
that again?
Canton, Canton. That's the old name. But the new name, I can spell it out, is Guangzhou. It's G-A-N-G, Guangzhou, Z-H-O-U. Okay. So this city has been open to foreign trade since 1800 or like 1700, late 1700. The first port was ever open to the world since the 1700s, or maybe even before, when China was exporting silk, porcelain, tea to Europe at that time. It was all through that city. And also that city is also the port that the opium was imported to China, to dump to China, and for the British to balance their trade, because China did not need anything from Europe, from Britain, And then Britain loved the Chinese tea, porcelain, and silk. So there's trade imbalance. For them to balance their trade, they grow opium in East India and dump opium to China to balance their trade. And that caused the war between China and Britain, because China wanted to ban opium in China, opium trade in China. And Britain saying, nope, we just want to dump the opium in your market. And so they sent their gunboat and defeat the Chinese Navy at that time, and forced the opening of several ports in additional to Canton, and then took Hong Kong from China. And that's why Hong Kong become a British colony, 1842. And that's marked the first year of the beginning of a century of humiliation for China, from 1842 to 1949. So for 100 years.
Okay.
So that was the reason, because since then, beginning of 1842, China become colonized or semi-colonized by, just like Africa, by so many European countries, plus, China was the same. They carve out China into different parts, have their own concession or colony, but still, Canton. Then the role of Canton was replaced by Hong Kong for a long time. But since the 50s, the Canton rebuilt itself. Guangzhou rebuilt itself as the door to the world from China. So they host a trade fair twice a year, and it was the hugest one. So so I would suggest those are the seasons that you want to go to China. If you ever want to tour China, mix your business with the tour. So hey, it's a business write-off.
Exactly.
It's a business write-off. Why not?
That's right.
Right?
That's right. So what is the weather like in March, in spring, in China?
The weather in Canton, China is huge. China is the size of the United States. And then so you have a tropical like Florida, like Key West, or you have like a winter storm like Maine or Vermont. So China is the same. We have desert and variety of landscape in China and the climate. So Canton is not very far from Hong Kong. Was an hour in Hong Kong. So in the springtime is very pleasant. Right now it's just like Florida. Canton is like Florida.
Oh, okay.
So and then so you can go in the springtime in March, April, or in October. So those are like then you have like vendors from all over the world in addition to China.
Yes, I could imagine.
Yes. And then I think there a trade center, I would say maybe 5 times of the McCormick place. It's huge.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's in order to travel to do business, I would imagine that there's separate restrictions or registrations that you have to do, other than having, of course, your visa and your passport. And you have to have a passport and a visa, and there's specific stipulations to the expiration dates of both of those.
Well, if you go to those trade shows, you just register with the trade show. So probably, later we can put a link on it. So, maybe I think right now is February, is going to be beginning of January. Maybe we have another episode, another day we will talk a little bit more to go to Canton for the
specifically
spring fair.
Yes.
So if anybody want to do business, we're looking for opportunities, especially those who want to do digital entrepreneurship, digital retail, that they can sell to their clients. Go there to see the products available in China,
Yes.
So I think we will come back to do that. So those are the two trade shows that actually seasonal. Okay. But there's also a trade show place which is year round.
Oh, okay.
So you can go anytime, anything. And then you know what? It's not only the people, foreigner, it's also the Chinese going there. And then that place called Yiwu, Yiwu, near Shanghai. Maybe a lot, it's near Shanghai. Okay. So, there was it was a joke. They say the American election, presidential election, you can actually see the tea leaves about American presidential election by going to Yiwu.
What you say, you can read the tea leaves and know who's going to win the election if you go there? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. You know why?
Why?
Because all the campaign product are actually shipped out from Yiwu.
Mm-hmm.
So back in 2016, and the people in Yiwu already predict Trump was going to win the presidency because just by the order of the product from Yiwu. And so Yiwu is actually the epicenter of all small merchandise. They have a trade show, a permanent trade show, and they have, I think, 5 pavilions. I think probably 5 times of also like McCormick Place. Mm-hmm. Permanent. And actually they have a branch almost in Dubai. If you go to Dubai,
okay,
they also have a subdivision over there. So if you travel to Dubai, go over there and mark that as business expense.
Oh yes, whenever you travel anywhere.
Yeah,
that's the importance. That's one of the things that we have to focus on when we become business owners or doing business. We have to get out of the mindset of being a consumer and being a business person.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're stuck because we've been consumers for so long. We don't know how to make that shift. But make that another mantra that you repeat and restate on a daily basis. I am not a consumer. I am a business person. But now don't forget the rules to being a consumer, because you are servicing folks and you want to make sure you're doing that properly. You're giving the proper etiquette as far as the customer care and being a consumer. But when you think about business, think about business.
Well, I would say maybe we don't like Trump that much, but just remember how Trump can not pay tax for most of the years, and then one year he paid $750. Okay, because he's a businessman.
Right.
Businessmen do not have to pay tax.
Well, they have to pay some tax.
No. Just thinking, Trump, the business maybe pay some tax, but Trump personally, he only pays $750 a year.
Yeah, he maneuvered around that part. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have to learn from Trump.
But he paid somebody $750,000 to make sure he only paid $750.
Well, no, but most of the years he paid nothing.
Yeah, but he had somebody on staff to make sure that his books were in order to the degree where.
Yeah, we can, you know what? Those are the rules. We can learn that too. Just your always the game.
Yes.
Game, because he want to get away with so much. That's why he had to hire such a $75,000 accountants. But if you be honest and pay a little bit, then you probably don't. And as a small business owner, It's just a simple rules. Just keep your books, thinking,
Keep your books.
maximize the things that you can do as a business. Your car, your phone, your internet, your home office of your apartment, and then your travel.
Yes, your
All
supplies,
those things.
all of this.
All of this.
Ching moment.
Yes. So we I think sometimes we have to get like CPA to educate us a little bit more how to keep the books that you can actually you don't overpay your tax. I think a lot of time you overpay your tax. And then I think that if you have yourself, you are self-employed, you have a little part-time job as entrepreneurs, you can help you to lower your business tax burden. So I think people think about that way. Okay, otherwise, you pay a lot more to the tax than you actually responsible for. So but now we come back to the business travel. I think for people who work for salaried employee, there's so much tax you are taken out, and then you don't have you're not saving very little money. And the actually middle class America, a lot of them are small business owners. They pay less tax than the salaried employees, even though they make the same amount of money. So I think have a business on the side can help you offset some costs and offset some tax liabilities. So I encourage people to have your own business. It's very easy to register a LLC. It's very easy. But then with the LLC, you actually can travel for business, mix business with pleasure. So every time you take a vacation, think about the location that you actually can do business. And then, China is you can do one part is China, the rest is somewhere else. So you can,
stretch it out.
Stretch
it out.
Yeah.
How long of a stay do you suggest when a person is going to China and doing business, especially the first time? Are you talking about 14 days or?
I think I probably send Zelda or you the link of that EU. I think maybe we can put a link in below, so some people can actually go to check out that link about that EU merchandise center. It's general merchandise center themselves, and just get a little preview or overview of what that place look like, because it's so huge. If you spend, there's I think it's 75,000 vendors there.
Oh boy.
Yes, if you spend
That's
5 minutes
huge.
each one, so it's probably gonna take you a year to finish, to talk to every vendor. So I think, do we have an echo here?
Yeah, I think we do. I hear a little something. It's very faint.
Yeah. So I would say, just thinking, first of all, what kind of product you are interested to sell. Like, you check your sphere of your influence, your friends and family. You kind of check out what kind of things they need daily, because you first of all want to see your customer, who are your client, where you want to explore. Then you decide what kind of line of product you want to get into. You want to like a home building material, or you want clothing, or you want a hair product, beauty and hair. So then you can just select a hall that you will be focused on, rather than go through all 5.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's all part of the.
You will kill yourself. You will spend a year just walking the hall.
And then the cost to ship just those things that the samples that you picked up would be astronomical.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So but I think
Well, see, like for me, I would look at travel products. You know, the different luggage, the different personal bags, even to the degree of scale, a luggage scale. We need that. So any product that I could see, they have the disposable linen now. Have you noticed instead of you carrying all your linen because you don't trust the linen that's on the different beds. You know, you see a lot of people carry pillows, and I used to think, why is a person bringing their pillow into a motel? Don't they have enough pillows? But now that I'm in the business, I understand. So yeah, I would, for me, I would just focus on items for travel to make travel convenient.
Yeah, I think there's many products. There's even like a blanket that is the size of a pillow, and then you can actually open up and become a blanket. If you want to, everything is portable. Yes. So the good thing is you will see, and then you know what? When you are there, you probably can tell the vendor, "Can you custom made for me?" And there, you know what? There are just so many manufacturers out there. They would like to do things for you. You can actually custom made for yourself, for your own brand. Put your name on it, you know. So it's good to go there to meet the customer. I would say, you know, if you have 2 weeks there, I think it's more than enough.
Yeah, network and build relationships. That's so important in business, building relationships.
Yes, and also you will see, because China's in terms of the way that they do marketing and retail, they are a different level. Most of their sales are going through live stream. So you will see how they do live streams. I'll watch a lot of them on, you know, on my social media,
I've seen them.
Instagram.
I'm like, I can really use that.
Yes, but you know, they have the training that you can do the training. Some people there to do training, show you how you set up. It's like a small, like really small booth, but then, you know, they can sell. I think one of the NBA player, he sell a very affordable wine, and then he went on a live stream in China, and he was selling 10,000 bottles of wine. And they say, how fast can you sell those one? I think it was sell within 5 minutes through live stream.
He was live streaming in China to sell the bottles of wine, and they sold that quickly because of the international trade.
No, it's just within China, not even international. He sell it in China.
Oh, just in China?
Yeah, you know, just thinking China is 4 times the size of the United States, and the size of middle class is the whole American population. So the purchasing power is huge, and that's why you know, so many businesses are doing business in China, because China's purchasing power is much higher than the purchasing power in the United States. And that's why they can sell 10,000 bottles of wine in 5 minutes. So, but now I think it's up to us. You know, I think the one thing African Americans are good at, the social media. They are the best with the social media. So they can actually benefit from how Chinese are selling the product, the way they do live stream. So I would especially encourage young people. You know, I know Zelda and Naima is doing the show, doing the podcasting training. And one day they were interview me, say, what's the what can we do with the podcasting? I say, that way you can use it as the skill to sell product. You know how to, you know, manage the whole the live stream show. And so that's why I feel like maybe this year let's just bring some people to China, either the spring, the spring and fall we can go to Canton, the Canton Fair. I think it's 10 days. Or in the summertime, summer vacation, we can go to Yiwu, because that's year round. Oh, winter vacation, you can do that too. Like a winter break, you can go to China for winter break. And it's now very cold in Shanghai. Shanghai weather is probably, I would say, warmer than DC, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to go anywhere cold.
No, it's warmer than DC. I would say maybe Carolina, weather like a Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and so winter, summer, so all year round you can go to China for business. Especially there's a permanent like merchandise center, wholesale general merchandise.
Yes.
And you can see, 75,000.
I look forward to exploring that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we can customize some tours. We can take people there's some of African American ladies. They go China all. I saw some shows. They go there and they get product back and they start selling.
I know. Years ago there was a person who sold shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And she would go to Italy and Europe, and then all of a sudden she started going to China to purchase the shoes. I'm like, oh, that was different, but I never thought any more about that on that scale. But I'm so glad that you brought this to mindset. It is definitely something that we could focus on.
Yeah, I think you can maybe do we can do something like just a package for ladies or men, or even like a youngster.
We're not specific.
Even youngsters, just like to see what the world actually, the alternative universe. China literally is alternative universe. A parallel universe that you can never imagine.
Wow.
Never. Actually, the longer I stay in the United States, the longer I hang out to see Chicago, like South Side.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I'm so lucky to grow up in China as a Chinese minority instead of American minority.
Because Beata, our Friday and Sunday host, is saying Grand Rising. She had a small cleaning business for 10 years and learned that things I could deduct and paid zero taxes, while my husband always got a refund because he always contributed to the IRS all year long.
Yeah.
Yes, that IRS, I don't know, that acronym, we're going to have to give it another meaning because they are always trying to find ways. And now that folks are going into business more for themselves, they're changing the rules.
Yeah, so they
always
of course,
changing the rules, making it
yes.
harder.
Well, you know what the thing is, I think U.S. is a very anti-mom and pop shop, small business. Because, I met my friend, I went to Orlando to meet my friend who just immigrated from China. And they were a small business. And the husband telling me, he said, we never had to pay tax.
Right.
Time. Never pay tax. The government, for other reasons for you to not pay tax. So they encourage the small business, mom and pop shops. They actually is more like a mom and pop shop. They sell for a while they sell like fishing gear.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
now
you have to keep records, and you have to do business.
Yeah, but
you can't just say I'm in business. You have to be able to produce some type of business, and you have to keep your records.
Yeah. But you know what? You can always find things in China that you can sell to your friends and family. You know, just like Amazon. Amazon, almost like 99% of Amazon so the product sold on Amazon
We're
made in
China. Yeah, everything comes from China.
Yeah, so why don't you just go there? Because they charge you double or triple, even in Amazon. Amazon is not cheap.
Right.
The other day, you know what the funny thing is? Somehow I signed up a prescription, no, like a subscription to buy Olay wipes, and then they send it to me. Then you know what? It's cheaper for me to buy from Target than have Amazon send it to me. Can you believe that?
Yes. Yes.
And they charge, you know, they charge you $2 more. I said, why? I could just go Target or Walmart and buy it. Yeah, so just I always tell people, you can be your own Amazon. You just go to China, make this trip to see the product, and then bring it back to sell to friends and family on your, you text people, you put on your Facebook, you have Instagram.
And here at the Female Solution, the femalesolution.com, we have a merchant page on our site.
Yeah,
that you can go and get merchandise, especially that travel bag.
Yeah. And then the thing is, you may find more than I can find, because I sometimes everybody have a different taste. I don't know your friends and family what they actually have interest in. I only think so this is good for me, maybe it's good for you. So that's like the other things I introduce it because I bought them myself. But there's also other things you may find that will also you need it.
Of course, that you had no idea that you even needed it. Yeah. So I could truly relate to that. And we start off in what we want, what we have an eye for, and then we know our client or our customer, and and say, oh, and listen to others.
Yes,
exactly. we listen to others. We get information from others. This is definitely. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we can
like one more thing to put on my plate.
Yeah, well, the things we buy, but also you can also, because you are so good with arranging the trip, right? Where to stay. People just don't know. Okay, going to China, where are we gonna go? How we land, all the visa issue. Because China is
right. How do we get there? When we get there, how do we get to where we're staying?
Yes.
How do we get around? And how do we spend money? And how do we talk the language? How do we interact with the people? Mm-hmm. That's all part of the planning process.
Yeah, like me, when I went to Turkey, I have no plan. I have no plan, zero. The first night I couldn't find my hotel. I was walking back and forth. They drove me to a different place. I gave them a wrong name. It's similar, but it's not the same. Oh my God, the first night. So I have no plan. I didn't speak the language.
So now will you do that again with no plan?
Oh yeah, I will do that one when I go to the. I said I will move to Egypt. So.
But when you say you went to Turkey for Thanksgiving, is that because it was Thanksgiving and you wanted to go to Turkey, or that just happenstance?
I think it was happen. I was looking to, as the summer I was in Dominican Republic. Oh, for speaking of the Dominican Republic. Okay, so people who travel to Dominican Republic, don't forget to write off your tax too. Okay. The reason I went to Dominican Republic is they are also a wholesale center that in DR, Santo Domingo. It was a lot of Chinese also merchants. Mm-hmm. They brought product to Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, San Domingo?
Dominica.
No. I think the name is Domingo, right?
Dominico.
Okay, Dominico. And then so they sell wholesale and retail. Okay, you see, and then there's the people from DR and the neighbor area like Costa Rica, they also goes to DR to buy things in wholesale and sell their market. So you can do the same. Buy things wholesale and bring it back to sell.
Oh, absolutely. You can do that at most major cities have some type of market that you can, again, network with the people and find out to purchase it in bulk.
Yeah.
And you can get it wholesale.
Well, but yes. And then see, now I think we are like in the summer market. I think we should have we used to have Maxwell Street. We don't have Maxwell Street anymore.
Well, we have some flea markets.
But before it was every year, every Sunday we have a Maxwell Street.
But Maxwell Street was all week long.
I thought it was to me when I was in when I came in '94. Maxwell Street was
in '94. Yeah, Maxwell Street had narrowed down. And that was by then. I'm thinking Maxwell Street back in the '70s and whatnot. It was booming.
We need to petition the city to bring back Maxwell Street.
Well, I don't know. Naima is with some prominent folks who may be able to make that decision. Zoe wants to bring back Maxwell Street.
They've got some other plans for that.
You're right. But they do have the flea markets in some parts of I know in Alsop on Wednesdays and Saturday and Sunday, there's a flea market. It's not as large as it used to be. It's not that many, but yeah, it's we
have those kind of market, so people will bring product back from overseas can sell at those flea markets.
That's right. That's right. But with social media now, you don't even have to go and get the booth space. I remember when I was selling and I would have to pack up and take my wares to a location and purchase the booth space, set up, break it down, every day and bring it back. And it got daunting. But now with social media, as we were discussing earlier, you just get a little booth and make a video. Yeah. And that's it. Zelda from the Higher Learning Network TV show says, Grand Rising, beautiful queen teachers. What about buying hair in China for resale? I'm sure you can.
Yes. Talking about that, I actually bought 2 weeks for myself. I think it probably will be there in about 10 days. Because, I stopped coloring my hair for 6 years ago. And so when I first stopped coloring my hair was a lot of grayer. Okay. But now, after almost 5 years, my gray, actually my dark hair are growing back.
Oh, okay.
So now I know is the so much harmful ingredients in the hair product. So it's not healthy. But no. If I don't want I want to change my hairstyle, I say, you know what? I'm just going to buy a different color of wigs and put it on.
Zelda also said Amazon charged triple fees. We had an account until we discovered they were ripping us off royally and made enough money to hire a grant money writer to help fund youth and homeless projects. China is a better option. Yes.
So what we can do is
So,
we can
so they'll just go into China with us.
Yes, let's do it. You know, I mean,
We already know Naima's on board.
We all gonna go. I think we should bring more people. Let's just plan for this year when you want to go. And I can first trip. I can guide, and then to help to set up all the contacts. So we will bring people more and more. And also, you know, because if we have African American community, you know what else we can visit when we visit the Canton Fair, the Guangzhou Fair during the spring and the fall, because in the same city, there's African village, literally, because about 200 Africans living in that city. So that city has the most Africans in China. They are doing business. Many of them were former students in China on Chinese scholarships. So since the 50s or 60s, China gave scholarships to Africans to go to college in China. And then many of them are stayed after they complete the college, and they are able to speak Chinese. They know what China has to offer to Africa. So they stayed in China, setting their business over there. And then, so the community just getting larger and larger. So it's about 200,000 African living in China. And then, so I think we can bring a same visit. So we, to over there, see how those Africans are doing so well in doing trade in China, between the trade between China and Africa. So now we can do trade for China and the African American community. The kind of things that, you know, you need. So we can set up a maybe, I don't know, spring.
Okay.
Go to the spring show, because that's in that's like off season. If people, you know, don't have to wait for their kids to be out of school, you can go in the springtime, or you can go in the fall.
Yeah. Well, I now you talk about folks don't want to take their children out of school. I feel, me personally, I used to think the same thing. Oh, I can't take the children out to school because they need their education. And then as I would travel, it more and more, I see more and more children of other cultures traveling. I'm like, why aren't they in school? But then I thought about it.
Traveling, I'm like,
Zelda, I think Zelda.
Got to ready to take a break.
Okay, we got to exit. Okay. So anyway, our children should travel along with us. You know, it's so educational. And yes, they'll miss out a few days of school. Get those lessons. You know, if they were at home sick, they wouldn't miss out a couple of days at school, and you get those lessons. So get those lessons that they would have with their teachers, and you have that communication with the teachers, and you take those children on the journey.
It's a good idea.
Yes.
I mean, I think our children need to travel more.
Yes.
I mean, when they travel, they actually see with their own eyes what is the reality, rather than just absorb whatever spilled by the media. You see, my son traveled with me to China since he was 6 years old. And then my brother's children has never been to China.
Oh.
And he has not been back to China since 95. Okay. So his children has never been to China. And they have very negative view about China.
Okay.
Well, my son been to China so many times, and he loved it. To him, China is a place for vacation. because I take him so many times to travel around, and we go to spas, different kind of, we go to like the China's version of Hawaii, and he absolutely love it. So you see, people need to travel around the world to form their opinion rather than just as a recording machine of someone else's opinion.
Right. Hold that thought. I've got to dip away just for a moment.
Let's put a commercial.
Yeah, I don't have access to the commercials.
I think
let's see if Naima can come back in. I'll be right back.
Well,
hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Hi, I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, we're also three sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all: race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're three Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Three Black Moms.
welcome back. So we have been talking about going to China, travel to China for business trips. They're looking for some deals that we can conduct and bring some product that we can sell in the United States in our own community. Because China, being the manufacturer of the world, and there are so many products that you actually have never seen. So seeing is believing, and it's good for the year 2024. Let's make a new year resolution is to embark a new path for self financial independence away from minimum wage jobs. I told you about last October, I have a stopover in Atlanta, and my stay over was like quite long, and it was late at night. And around 10 p.m., I saw a African American lady that doing cleaning the terminal. And I asked her, I say, you work really late, and she said, oh, this is my second job. So she had to work at 10 p.m., 10 or 11 p.m. instead of spend time at home with her children. And to me, that's a very sad. And then I asked her how much you make for that job. She's making what, $13 an hour. And I feel like, sorry, I have to charge my phone. I say, you know what? I suggest her not to take a second job at expense of time, quality time with their children, because the best investment in the children is time to spend with them. A lot of them, they need that emotional support from the parent. And for $13 an hour, you lost so much. How much you gonna get after your the other tax are paid? Not so much, but the cost is a lot, because you are not you are away from your children in the terminal, in the airport, late at night. When I left, I told her, I said, never take a second job on this kind of minimum wage job. It's just go start selling a product, and then you build your client over time. You know what the kind of product your client need, what sells well. You build and you'll make more money. You know what the kind of product your client need, what sells well. You build you'll make more money. You know what the kind of I heard myself now.
When I see people, especially young mothers, oh, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Is that me? I can't hear you. I can't hear. Can you hear me, Naima? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Oh, well, I don't know. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? I am here. I am so excited. Naima, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Okay, I got you down, but I got you on the echo.
Yeah, because I have the have another device playing the
just that multitasker.
yeah.
This was
driving
awesome.
while operating the show. A bit of a challenge.
Don't say that. Don't say that out loud. No, she's not. She's pulled over on the side of the road.
Well, the only time I can, operate the controls is when I have to pull over. So, yeah.
Right. I understand. This is talking about multitask.
Well, I had to be at the United Center this morning because, they're preparing for the convention and those who are going to be covering it need to, be present to get instructions. So I'm preparing for our production crew to be covering the Democratic National Convention and meeting.
That is another awesome event that's coming to town.
Yes.
We don't have to travel to.
People are going to be traveling from all over the world, literally, to Chicago.
Yes.
And so, Chicago has to be ready to receive all those people. And that's one of the things, when you go out of town, the people who have to coordinate all of that, it's a lot of work. It's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot of work. It's a lot. That's why when you're traveling, I know you have aspirations to go somewhere, but when you're traveling, you need a travel professional. Just like you can go. You got a headache, you take a pill, but if that headache persists, or if you need specific instructions, you might want to go see a professional to see about it. That's the same thing with the travel industry. We have professionals who are structured, who know about all of this, and you won't have to worry the stress of you missing a flight connection, or how it was put together, or where do you go when you arrive to your destination. There are different levels. And when you have a travel professional that puts all of this together for you, you can the process is much easier.
Right. Now let's make sure we can hear Zoe. Are we back now with your sound, Zoe?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
We hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Why. Because my phone is almost out of battery, so I just trying to charge. I just plug in. I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Well,
didn't do anything, so I don't know. On my side, it was not muted.
Yeah, and then I didn't know if anybody could hear me.
I know you were. I thought it was. They didn't put you on. I didn't know you cannot hear me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you couldn't hear me?
No, I could not hear you when I came back. No. So can you recreate what you were saying? Because you were really intense.
Yeah. What I was saying is I was talking about my experience in when basically I want to encourage people, even though they have one job, like a minimum wage,
right,
they should not take a second job, also minimum wage. Okay.
No.
Because when I was recounting my experience when I have a stayover in Atlanta around 12 o'clock midnight in Atlanta, and I saw this lady, African American lady, do the cleaning at terminal, and I asked her, how come you work late? And she said, oh, this is my second job. And I say, at this hour, I think you're supposed to be with your kids,
right?
And I say, for you not being there, you are emotionally not available to your children, and then that's not very good for for teenagers. I speak from my own experience. I have to stop working for my son when he was a teenager going through issues.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be emotional available, so I decided not to work as 9-to-5 jobs. And personally, I would never work for 9-to-5 jobs. That's for kids. Try to gain some work, real world experience. But for adults, let's not work for minimum wage. That's
Right.
That's called a salaried slavery. Okay.
But sometimes
Slavery.
sometimes that's all the offer that the person has. So what we need to do is focus on not putting yourself in a better position where you're not stuck in that minimum wage. And you got this job. You were looking when you found this job. And you can look for a better position. But until you get there, focus on developing yourself to a better level. Whether because some people don't want to be entrepreneurs. Some people don't mind going and working for someone else because it's less, I don't know, for them, it's less thought process. Everyone is not an entrepreneur. Everyone can't be an entrepreneur. And that's okay, because those are the people that we need to purchase our items. But you have to have a mindset that you want to do better. So if you're going to stay, say, in the corporate world, education is key. So put yourself in a position where your education, your higher education, is going to help you. Maybe the corporation that you're working for at a minimum wage now has a program where they'll help you through school and they'll elevate you to a different level that you have to stay at for 5 years, but you work with the corporation and move around, because even if you're working at a McDonald's, a fast food organization, there's a corporation behind them. What does it take for you to elevate in where you are? You don't have to be stuck. I used to feel so for the young mothers who have the little babies standing on the bus stop in the middle of winter, taking the babies to someone else to nurture them, and while they go to that minimum wage job. It is so heartbreaking. You've got a child, and if anything, if you can stay at home with that child and nurture that child, if you are a nurturer. Now, some folks having babies, they're not nurturers. They rather go out and make the money. Okay, to each his own. But I mean, we have to know, like you say, you're not stuck in that spot. And the people, the residential folks, folks who are owning these properties and elevating these rents to where they're not affordable, is amazing. And I think for my show, we're going to be talking about that. You and Viata have already stated that you're going to talk about the condensed living.
Co-housing.
Oh,
our tiny village.
And her tiny village, right? And we have to look more on having less material things and just being able to survive until we can afford something bigger. And I know my show, I will focus on that as far as my travel show, to move around with the Deborah in April. We're going to talk about that on my show, but I know you and Viata are going to talk about that even beforehand on her tiny village. I love her tiny village. I could do a tiny village if I was single.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not ready for it. But that is such an awesome opportunity. Now, this Saturday, my third Saturday coming up, yes, we're going to be focusing on wellness. Of course, this is the first of the year, and everybody has their list of things that they're going to achieve.
But I think for this new year, the one thing is make a New Year's resolutions to travel to
more.
China or Turkey for business deals.
Yes,
you
travel
can
more.
expand your life path rather than single path of minimum wage. No, you need a backup plan. So to start with,
get your backup plan. That's so key. So some have that plan B. You got to have that plan B while you're working that plan A. I know you got to work that plan A. That's good, but think about that plan B. And I used to say B, C, D, and E because sometimes those plans don't work out for you. And you want to make that change. You want to step out on that faith. You want to get rid of that fear. You don't have that fear of stepping out. So you need to step out and network, build relationships, be with like-minded people. Get out of the circle. Don't get rid of your associates, but change your associates. Get other associates that are like-minded or that you aspire to learn from and learn from every situation.
And I think, your show is about, moving around with Deborah. I think it's so good, so inspiring people, just, get up your comfort zone, not just your home, that's, whatever square feet you have, dream big, dream a vacation or dream a business. And then start with you, you bring them to a vacation spot or to a business venture and travel to China and mix it, travel and with leisure. So you get a tax write-off. This is almost a tuition you pay to yourself.
Right.
To be educated with what opportunity exists out there. You owe to yourself. You owe to yourself to find it. You owe to your kids. You owe to your kids to find that opportunity, so they don't have to not to sleep with you at 10 o'clock at night because you have to take a second part-time job working at the
Then who's raising your children?
Yeah. So
if you're doing that, who's structuring them? Who's giving them the ethics of life? YouTube or videos or the games or somebody else that if you really knew what was going on in some of these places where your child is being looked after, you would run, no. It could be heartbreaking. There are some very good educators in the child care system. There are very good nurturers in the child care system, but there are some bad seeds in the child care system. Yeah. And you don't want your child to be reared by someone. And there's so many children, they don't really have the time that you would have to nurture your child. It's not taken away from their skills, but especially from infancy, pre-birth through 5, 6, you need to be there nurturing your child with your ethics. And
you know what? Ever since my son was born, I never worked for anybody. Since my son was born, so 20 years, 19 years, I never worked for anybody because I quit my job, even being a real estate. I quit my job when he was 4 months old because I can't deal with it. I don't want to be stressful, find someone else taking care of him. I have to make some money. No, I decided not to. I was the cheapest the nanny. I want to be the cheapest nanny, So, yesterday I was talking to my son. I said, I never worked since you were born. And, God has been so good. I don't know how I managed it, but now he's
because you were a business. You were business minded.
I use my mind, so I make
money. You're business minded.
The whole time, you use my mind, and then the little money I make, it stressed me for a long time.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's it. We make do, and we teach our children the same thing. So when they grow up,
with my son the whole time. My mind is in the business, but my body was with my son the whole time. So I was always emotionally available to my son.
And we have to be. that's how we change the trajectory of our youth, because they're the ones that's going to be pushing us around. You know, Naima is at a function where the Democratic Committee is going to be showcased here in Chicago. These children, the youth, need to know about that. They need to be aware of that. They need to be involved in that.
But the parent need to be there. The parent can't take a second job, working 12 o'clock at night at the
and
airport.
not be there, right? Or not have the flexibility to take them.
You have blame the parents not to manage their time, not to think of big visions, not prepare them. They are emotional, abandon their kids. You can't complain about the kids. If you are not, if the parents,
we're not complaining, but we have to know. We have to bring them. We have to give them the tools.
You are not the parents.
Uh-oh, we have Zelda here.
Our time is basically up.
Yes, Zelda. Hello, Zelda.
It was such a great show. Thank you so much, Deborah. You are my guest today, so we can talk about more about business travel to China. This year, 2024. We need to make this happen. 2024.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I know some will. I'll be looking into that. Thank you so very much. It was an honor to be your guest today. And blessings.
Yes. Have a good day today. Thank you. Stay warm. It's better than the before 2 days ago. It's warmer.
We have to know. We have to bring them. We have to give them the tools.
Stay today. Thank you. Stay warm. It's better than the before 2 days ago. It's warmer.
We have to know. We have to bring them. We have to give them the tools.
Stay today. Thank you. Stay warm. It's better than the before 2 days ago. It's warmer.
We have to know. We have to bring them. We have to give them the tools.
Stay today. Thank you. Stay warm. It's better than the before 2 days ago. It's warmer.
We have to know. We have to bring them. We have to give them the tools.
Stay today. Thank you. Stay warm. It's better than the before 2 days ago. It's warmer.
We have to know. We have to bring them. We have to give them the tools.
Kenya, Asante, Israel, Koda, Pakistan, Shukriya, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.